Good evening. Welcome, fellow nomads, to the Nomad Nation TV network. I am your host and fellow nomad, Step Van Rav. This is Nomad News for July 22nd, 2019. Before we get to our first story, guys, I want you to do me a favor and look right down there and click that little red subscribe button. Click the little bell next to it so you can get a new notification every single time there's a new episode of Nomad News. That way you'll stay in the know when it comes to everything in the Nomad Nation. All right, guys, now on to our first story, which is a tragic one. I usually want to keep this show pretty lighthearted and fun. That's kind of what the van life community is to me. I don't know what it is to you. I know there can be a lot of drama in it, but I like to find the fun parts of it. But on this first story, I don't feel like I would be doing my job if I didn't report everything that's actually going on in the van life nomad community, in the Nomad Nation, if you will, if I didn't go ahead and touch base and lead with this story, because it is a probably important story for the van life community, especially, I would say, single females traveling. But in this case, there was a gentleman and his girlfriend. If you have not heard, it has made national news. I'm reading from the official CBS News website. A road tripping couple was murdered near the Canada's notorious Highway of Tears. This couple was looked like a van life couple. They definitely look like a nomad couple. From her brother, what her brother said is she traveled all over. She traveled continuously and was very nomadic. Her boyfriend was as well. And they were killed close to the notorious Highway of Tears in Canada and northern British Columbia. Let's just go ahead and read from the website here from CBS News. It says a manhunt is underway after an American woman and her Australian boyfriend were murdered while on a road trip through the northern British Columbia. Canadian police aren't saying how Lucas Fowler and China Deese died, but they are investigating these deaths as a homicide. Police in Fowler's native Australia said it appears they were both shot. The deaths happened near Canada's notorious Highway of Tears, a remote stretch of road where at least 18 women in the last 40 years have disappeared or been found murdered. So I can't stress enough, guys, how important safety is when you're a nomad. I know when you're traveling around and nothing's going on, nothing's happening, and you're just going about your day, it's very easy to get complacent and get very trusting. But when you're moving around from place to place, if somebody picks up that you are a traveler, that can make you a target, especially if you're a single female. So it's very important that you actually stay very wary of your surroundings, no matter how safe it feels. Nobody wants to become a victim. And our next story, guys, involves the very well-liked, I believe liked, maybe disliked, it depends on who you ask, but the very popular RV life nomad, Nomadic Fanatic. Nomadic Fanatic has had a run-in with a lot of trolls over the years. If you paid attention to his channel for any time being, he has a lot of adoring fans, but he also has a lot of trolls that just, they try to make his life miserable. And in that misery, there has been one super troll that I guess we would call, he actually made a parody account some time ago called Nomadic Fanatic Stickers, and he goes by Stickers on the interwebs and on the YouTube, and he has been stalking Nomadic Fanatic and became a actual stalker of Nomadic Fanatics. From what I hear, from what I understand, if you know more than I do, go ahead and comment below and let me know, but it just sounds kind of creepy. The guy is actually from the UK. He used to make some mildly humorous, cartoonish parody videos of Nomadic Fanatic, and they were super hateful and super hater, but they were kind of funny. So, you got to give the guy credit for that. But evidently, he's from the UK, and he's been in the United States, and there was a warrant issued for his arrest while he was here. And I guess he was caught and arrested and deported back to the UK per Nomadic Fanatic. Nomadic Fanatic talked a little bit about it in one of his latest videos. Let's go ahead and listen to what he had to say right now. Yeah, so that's Nomadic Fanatic. They caught his stalker, so I guess he can breathe a sigh of relief. I know all of the Nomadic Fanatics trolls are going to be upset, and I'll probably get a lot of comments below from them. But yeah, as far as Nomadic Fanatic goes, I guess he can rest easy and know that his stalker has been deported out of the country, not just locked up. His stalker has literally been deported out of the country. It doesn't get much better than that for having your stalker displaced. In other news and lighter news, Dave 2D has spoken. Yes, Dave 2D, the notorious Dave 2D vlogs. He has spoken, and he has addressed his connection with Jennelle and what happened with Jennelle. He's talked about it a little bit in one of his latest videos. It's not very long. Let's listen to what Dave has to say.
So I know you guys are so curious about what the fuck is going on with Jennelle. And funny, but I'm in the know on this one. I've been talking to Jennelle for I don't know how long, because I don't keep track of how long I talk to people. But she's legit. Not a corporate plant. I've seen a lot of shit. There's a lot of conspiracies, because there are people out there and their job is to think and act like this is a conspiracy. They get paid for that, just like I used to get paid for just ripping apart everybody. But Jennelle is the real deal. I know her, and we've never met in person, but I've been talking to her and helping her with her van stuff for a while. So, I think she's the perfect storm. I think that's what happened here. She is the perfect storm of personality and beauty and meme humor. And, another thing that I've been thinking about is, the step one is getting people to click, right? Clickbait. And I don't know what it is about this thumbnails that she used, but it's almost the same thumbnail in both videos she posted, and it's that blue van, and I think she's wearing something pink in both of them. And is it something alluring about the blue and the pink contrast? Why does everybody click on the video? That's what I'm really curious about. And then the content of the video is good enough for people to subscribe as well. So it's just the goddamn perfect storm at the perfect time, and it just exploded. But guess what? She's my homie, so I'm in a good position.
So there you go, guys. There's a huge conspiracy going on right now online, if you haven't seen it, about Jennelle. Some people saying she's a corporate plant. I always joke them and troll them and say they actually got her from Area 51, because there's this huge online conspiracy going on YouTube with not van lifers, but the YouTube community in general. There's this huge conspiracy that Jennelle is a YouTube plant, corporate shell, that YouTube is promoting and making her this YouTube star, which is a little crazy if you ask me, but that's the YouTube community in general. Sometimes they're a little kooky. I actually know exactly how Jennelle blew up. I broke it down a little bit in my Dave 2D is up video. I'll go ahead and card that for you guys if you want to see that video. It's up here or it's up here, wherever the card flies out. Click that if you want to take a look at that video. But if you want me to make a video explaining to you exactly how Jennelle blew up on YouTube, because I have a pretty good synopsis, or I have a pretty good theory of exactly how that happened. Dave 2D, by the way, is not taking credit for it, and I don't even know if he realizes how much of an influence he was on her video blowing up on YouTube. I'll give you the short version of it. If you would like a longer version, let me know, and I will make an entire video explaining exactly how Jennelle blew up on YouTube. I've been accused of being a creeper for making 3 videos about Jennelle, so I'm not going to make another whole video about her unless you guys ask for it. But in short, Dave 2D deleted all of his videos. which we now know he didn't delete them. He put them all on private so you couldn't see them, which made them look like they had been deleted. So that caused all of his fan base, which he has a huge fan base. Dave2D Vlogs has over 50,000 subscribers. So all of his rabid fans, or I call them cult, they were in a frenzy trying to figure out what was going on with Dave2D Vlogs. And it was all over the internet, and they were talking about it, and it was even on Reddit. And then Dave2D Vlogs, I believe on his Patreon, he made a post addressing it, saying, hey guys, I know you guys are wondering about my videos and what's going on with my videos and the future of this channel. I will be addressing that soon, but in the meantime, check out my friend Jennelle. She's a cool chick, and she lives in her van, and she's lived in her van for a couple of years, and she just dropped her van tour. That was on his Patreon that he made that. One of his Patreon subscribers then took that and dropped that on the Reddit board. They cut that out or downloaded it or copy and pasted that comment onto Reddit, because that's where I saw it was on Reddit, because I am not one of Dave2D Vlogs Patreon participants. So I read it on Reddit in one of the VanLife forums that's got, I don't know how many thousands of people in there. I think there's 40 or 50,000 in that. So it went into that VanLife subdirectory or subforum or whatever you want to call it. So all of these people started pushing over from that link, because it was linked. The video was linked, so they started pushing from there, clicking on the link on the Reddit forum, which took them right to the YouTube video. YouTube will reward you if you are bringing in traffic from an outside source like Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, any of those places. If you are bringing in a lot of traffic from one of your videos, if you post a video on Twitter and that video blows up on Twitter, gets a bunch of retweets and starts bringing a bunch of people from Twitter into YouTube, the YouTube algorithm will reward you and start pushing that video into more and more people's feeds, and they're recommended. And so I believe that's exactly what happened with Jennelle's video. Is once Dave made his Patreon post, his Patreons started coming over and checking out the video, and then there was somebody linked it and then posted his comment. They copy and pasted his comment in the Reddit forum, subforum, with a link to Jennelle's video. So with all the thousands of people on Reddit, they all flooded over to her video on YouTube, which sent the YouTube algorithm into overdrive. And it started recommended that video to everybody on YouTube. So there's no conspiracy about it. It just organically happened. I literally, when Jennelle didn't even have quite 40,000 subscribers, I made a post on there saying that she was going to be the next VanLife superstar. It's on one of the comments in her VanLife tour video, and it was way before she blew up, which started on July the 4th, which was right after Dave made that post on his Patreon that got posted on Reddit. So there's no grand conspiracy, guys. It all just happened the way it happened. But that is the way it happened, and that is the rest of the story. So our last story, our super cute schoolie couple, Scott and Kaylee. If you're not familiar with these two, they're pretty adorable. They're hilarious. Scott, I believe, is from the East Coast, and he's got that East Coast, Kellyanne, he's got that East Coast, he's got that East Coast accent. And Kaylee is pretty hilarious, too. I believe she's from Los Angeles, but those two are pretty hilarious. If you haven't been keeping up with them, they have this huge schoolie. The Roll With It schoolie, I can't remember the number that they go by, but it's got a school number that they go by on their channel. And they just ended up driving their schoolie across country, I believe to Pennsylvania, to its new owner. So they are no longer in the schoolie community, but I have actually talked to Scott on Facebook, and I believe on their Facebook and on YouTube. And Scott and Kaylee are now in the market for either a shorter schoolie, a smaller schoolie, or a step van. And I am, of course, trying to persuade them to join myself and my good friend, the bread trucker. And who else do we have? Seven Wonders. And who else do we have? There's a few more. Oh, we have Just Incredible. I'm trying to get Scott and Kaylee to join us in the step van life. because that's where it's at. Step Van Life. Yeah, they got rid of their bus. They're looking to downgrade. They actually got an apartment, and they're actually living here now in Venice, California. We got to get together, guys, someday. I'm like probably 15, 20 minutes away from you, right where I'm sitting. So someday maybe we will run into each other because I'm in Venice from time to time. Something very scary just happened to Scott. If you're not familiar, he had a motorcycle wreck, I believe in 2015, that really jacked him up pretty bad. And it was a serious motorcycle wreck. And that's kind of when things changed for him, and they decided to sell things and live a little bit and build out their schooling and travel, which is what they've been doing now since 2015, since they completed their schoolie conversion. Scott was out in Venice the other day riding his electric bicycle when a woman in front of him made a U-turn and ran him over. That's right. Well, she didn't run all the way over him. Evidently, Scott rolled with it because he saw it coming, but he did put a big dent in the front of her car, in the fender of her car, like where the tire and the bumper is on the fender. He put a huge dent there with his body, but evidently he saw it coming from what he says and rolled over the hood. Let's take a look at what Scott has to say about it now.
I know you're all probably wondering if I'm alive right now. I don't want to spoil the good news, so let's just start at the beginning. It all started like any other day. You wake up, you fix some coffee, you shake up whatever cereal in the bowl that appeals to you. Maybe you're Italian too. You go to the gym, you hang out on the boardwalk, you take a girl for ice cream like you have 1,000 times before. But something you never do, you never wake up with a thought that today, disaster might strike.
Okay, Nomad Nation, that's going to do it for this edition of Nomad News. We are the only Nomad news source on YouTube that's brought to you by a fellow Nomad who is actually a full-time Nomad myself. That's going to do it, guys. Safe journey.